These warm-ups are the most shots Kayla Eaton has faced all weekend. Yeehaw! And welcome to the Nashville Cowgirl Shootout 2024. The date is April 21st here, as we're still shaking off the cobwebs from the holiday weekend. We're watching Team Minnesota Girls Black National Elite warming up here on the left. They're wearing a black jersey, and I just want to let you know that the opponent in this championship game of the Rose Series is Toronto Pro Hockey. They're wearing blue, so at home it might be a little bit difficult to pick up the contrast between the two teams. We're going to see if there's any technical capabilities or adjustments we can make to compensate for the blue versus black. But I think the girls are just going to have to do the same thing out on the ice, is differentiate friend or foe, fight or flight. Hopefully might makes right. We've got two very talented teams here today. I'll tell you a little bit about who they are, where they come from, and how they got here. So Team Minnesota, Black, Girls National Elite. So far in the tournament, 6-0. They have not lost a game. They have never been losing at any point in the game, meaning they have scored first in all 6 games. On Thursday, the girls Black played against CJR. That was a 4-1 win. On Friday, they were made to play 3 games in one day. So they played the British Columbia Lady Canucks. That was a 4-1 win. They played against the Alberta Warriors, and that was a 2-0 win. They beat Machine Orange 5-0. And then earlier this morning, they played against the Boston Bruins, Rose's team, and beat them 6-0. So you're like, did they just post 3 shutouts in a row? Yes, they did. Strong defensive core, awesome goaltending, forwards with a forecheck. That looks like our forecheck right there, the way these girls are piling in. Toronto Pro Hockey is a team that was at Las Vegas last year. They did not make the final. So Minnesota 2012s and Toronto Pro Hockey have played against each other. Toronto started the weekend with a 3-2 loss to Western Selects. They beat Manitoba Junior Ice 5-3. They beat Boston 2-1. They beat Team Minnesota Purple 5-0, and they eliminated Machine Orange 2-0. So they, in pool play and bracket play, they shut out both of the other Minnesota teams. So they have not allowed a goal from Minnesota, as Toronto controls behind the Minnesota net and plays it back for a cycle down low. This morning, the Toronto Pro Hockey team played against the Western Selects. They were up 3-1 in that game, and then it became a 3-3 game, and they escaped with a 5-3 win. So just to let you guys know a little bit about where these teams came from, who they've played. So the Toronto will be the only team to have played all 3 Minnesota groups, but they're going to have to be ready for this one. It's going to be a good game here. So strap in, get your popcorn ready, as we're about 1 minute in. Minnesota makes a shift change. We've got Preston Harns And McDonough out here as Nyberg picks up a puck over to Harens. Good step up at the blue line by Toronto. Things get weird. We should send this one deep, and they do. So I'm going to do my best on the mic here. We've had a crazy day. It's beautiful here in Nashville. Really enjoying our stays. Ellie Hardwick from Warroad picks up a puck. Holds it up the wall. Toronto plays deep. Up the half wall to McDonough. McDonough sends a nice pass over to Harns. Harns with the first goal in the game this morning as she slips past a defender. And McDonough slips and slides into the corner as she tries to pick up the loose change. Long shot by Zinn sails wide. So still looking for our first chances here as Bundy comes in to help. You're going to watch these Minnesota defensemen. They do a really nice job of playing aggressively to hold the end. Little miss there, but McDonough's over the top. So canceled breakout. Ends up working out for Toronto as Zinn's angles out number 9. She plays deep. So Toronto not afraid to work a little down low cycle. May see a little bit more zone time. We're going to call that good. Number 11 with a long shot deflected off the crossbar. So Toronto threatening. Technically still no shots on goal in this game with a good chance for Toronto. Puck pushed ahead to Elena Nolander. Thrown to center. My ball, my ball, my ball. Donahue ties up and gets beaten to a puck, and it's backhanded deep for Donahue to recollect. She pushes up to Nolander. They combine for a very nice goal this morning as well as Amelia Donahue scores a highlight goal and sets up her friend for a nice assist. These are some of these legacy players 3 years in the game trying to bring home a third goal. So Hardwick picks up a puck, plays it up the wall to Stevens. Stevens fights off an attacker, tries to chip it out. Donahue's there to help, but a wide pull brings a one-on-one with Christian. Long shot, glove save. Christian picks it up and clears it to the side. It's Donahue. Up to Prosser. Donahue again. Toronto with some strong play here. Sends a puck in. So we've seen like 3 Toronto shots, 1 quality chance. Team Minnesota Black, the national elite team out of Minnesota, reaching the final for the 3rd straight year. Looks to try and get something going offensively. All of the lines have touched the ice, but nobody's touched the puck more than Kayla Eaton, which is something we have not seen before. So puck slides up to Zoe Neuer. It's just out of reach. And the Toronto defensemen doing a nice job recycling neutral zone pucks and turning them into chances as they press hard. One-touch pass by Volkers is thwarted. Lerner, 97, dumps deep, and 20 has a step on Nyberg. Nyberg closes the gap. So a centering pass again is almost a chance for Toronto. Puck held by Gardner. Bundy plays to Nyberg. Nyberg takes advantage of the time and puts a nice centering pass to Zoe Neuer. Zoe Neuer gets hauled down. It's a delayed call here. A delayed call as dangerous Evelyn Volkers puts a long shot on. It seems like we kind of stopped playing. We were anticipating the whistle. A really good chance created by Evelyn's shot. But our power play, and when I say our, I mean Minnesota. I do have a player on the team, so there is that aspect. It's looks like number 19. Number 18 is going to sit for a hook as she brought down Zoe Neuer. Zoe's been able to draw a few penalties. She's a puck magnet. She's the spark plug of this group. Preston digs in at the dot, looking to win. She wins it clean. Nolander pushes the puck beyond her shooting range, and Preston tries to fire, and it's blocked. So the girls are getting a little anxious. They're pushing the puck a little too far out of the strike zones. Wait for your pitch, ladies. As Stevens has the puck, slows things down, plays across the seam, and it's Bundy. Bundy with a long shot, tipped, and it's in! So Stevens plays the puck out to the blue line. It's a long shot from Bundy, and Preston is there to make them pay. Touch them all, Addie Preston. By Zetta's own Addie Preston, multi-sport athlete, fun to watch. big goal here. So in 7 straight games, Minnesota has scored first. Got to settle things in, settle things down. That might have been the first 2 shots from Minnesota as play comes out to center ice, and back in Toronto with showing a lot of skill, a lot of poise, a lot of patience, but also they're moving quick. Here comes Christian. She shoots far side to Harns. Harns is a step behind the puck, and we're going to replay this one back into the D zone. So while we take a break, I do have some fun facts about Toronto. Let's see what we did a little research on Toronto, and I want to tell you guys all about it. So, Toronto is about a 13-hour drive from Minneapolis. It's very close to Rochester, New York, and has 30 miles of shoreline on Lake Ontario. There are some famous comedians to come out of the Toronto area, including Mike Myers and Jim Carrey, who starred in features like Liar, Liar, The Mask, and Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Over 50% of the people in Toronto were not born in Canada, so it actually boasts the multicultural aspect of their society, which can gain some new traditions and obviously all the wonderful things that come with that. This puck sails wide from Toronto. Toronto is home to not just the Toronto Maple Leafs, they also have a professional baseball team, which is the Toronto Blue Jays. They also have the Toronto Raptors in the NBA, as Hardwick carries in and puts one right on. Some of the parents from the Minnesota National Elite team were hanging out in the lobby last night at the hotel watching the Boston-Toronto game, and we thought, we might have to beat Boston and Toronto to finish this thing off. And boy, that's exactly how it's sizing up. So anyways, back to the action here as we got a mosh pit in bloom down there. A Nirvana reference. Puck is played out center. Bundy is there. She closes in quick and plays it to Stevens. Stevens gets poked. And the puck gets iced, but it doesn't have enough steam. So Nyberg has got some pressure coming in. She turns quickly. And a stick check puts the puck on the side of the cage. So Toronto bringing more pressure than the girls are used to, but if you were at the Whitecaps Cup in Minnesota watching the top 6th graders play, it's kind of more what this is looking like. Toronto, a very nice team. They've got 4 coaches on the bench, 2 males, 2 females. Team Minnesota, Coach Vince, Coach Jay, Coach Mike, and Coach Steve. You can rewatch our older episodes to learn more about their bios. I'm not going to get into all of that. As a puck gets gloved aside by Eaton. Zins with the spins. Plays it off the wall. She's looking for a Willow. And Toronto goes D to D. Nice centering pass. Gets stepped up on McDonough. Harns picks up loose puck. She spins. She throws it outside the zone. It's kind of a blue line drop pass, but I'd rather play it back than throw it to the other team. As Willow spins back once again. This puck goes to the red. It's chipped in deep. Girls need to go to work here. McDonough first to the puck. Preston second. Oh, centering attempt. Gets stopped. We got a screen. Preston! Addie Preston scores another goal sitting in front. Like a pigeon picking up breadcrumbs. They are feeding the puck to the blue line. They're firing it on the goalie. And Addie Preston is a tall, strong, aggressive player. There's nobody who's going to push her out. And she is using her physiological presence to hammer pucks home to the back of the net. These are hitting the back of the net and bouncing out. They're going in so hard. So huge 2-0 lead as we're 7 minutes left in the first period. Team Minnesota doing what they do. Much damage. It's Bundy. 96 miles an hour, 96 on the jersey. Bundy spins out, but backhands to the front. Donahue can't handle. Christian tries to come in with a backhand. Bundy spins out. Kind of lost her heel placement. As Donahue, Team Minnesota really trying to strike while the iron's hot as Christian pinches down to the hash for a hole. Donahue is there. They're quick sideways. We've only got one on this side of the ice as Nolander steps in, but the puck is played out to Hardwick. Hardwick plays across center to Stevens. Beautiful pass. We have a 3-on-1, and we're offside, so just got to break that blue and do what we do. So we're going to have a face-off here at center ice. We are playing on our 5th rink of the tournament, 7th game. We are at the Bellevue, which is the Ford Ice Center at Bellevue. This is the most premier rink, so it's fitting that the championship game would be here as Newer tries to walk a face-off puck all the way to the net like she did against Machine Orange, scoring a beautiful goal and kind of threatening the hopes of the second most successful Minnesota team in this tournament. As Hardwick plays one back. Newer pushes through. She gets ridden off a puck. Newer's a very strong skater. She doesn't have a large frame. She's outsized often, outmatched never. Aldeberg gets across the blue line. Zoe picks up. She doesn't know where to go with it. She takes a heavy body check, no call. Nyberg, with a nice little cutback, toe drag, long shot. Gloved aside. Play on. Harns with a nice forward check. McDonough cuts across the grain and gets stick checked loose. Bundy's at the wall. Preston's over the top. Love our shape. Girls are drilling and filling. They're playing amazing hockey with a toe drag release from Harns, the goal scorer earlier today. So 5 minutes left here in the first period. We've got 2-0 game. 2 rebound goals from Addie Preston off long defensive shots. So far, so good. Things get jammed up, they go the other way. So Toronto's doing a really nice job of moving their breakout from side to side. Sometimes we try and simplify an already simple game as Preston, the double goal scorer, throws one into the crease, intercepted by Toronto. And we tell the girls that if you can count to 3, if you see 3 blue jerseys, there can only be 2 on the other side. So I think Toronto is well coached in that fashion. They're not trying to break out through the pressure. They've been out of their zone quickly, as Minnesota is here with a McDonough to Preston pass. Preston rims one around, catches a little bit of netting, and that puck is not Dolphin safe. There's been an alert, an Addie alert. If Addie starts to shoot, parents are going to have hats in hand. Oh, a nice crossing pass from Toronto. Didn't know if they needed to make that pass, but a pass at the top of the circles. It's a smart play, makes the goalie move. Kayla Eaton has not moved from her stance of being the tournament MVP. Very clear, as she's been an outstanding performer for Minnesota. Christian comes in to pinch, takes away the hands, but the puck squirts loose, and Minnesota gains possession. Little backhand to forehand pass to Stevens. She tries to dump in. Soft dunk picked off by Toronto. Donahue waits for Nolander. She sends it deep. So patient play, but aggressive forechecking. Nolander's there. Player plays it to Stevens. Stevens tries to play to the back door. And it's Zoe Newer. So these are rebound goals getting batted in. The exchange rate is showing that the US dollar is paying off. Zoe Newer from Lindstrom, Minnesota. Very special player. If you've been watching these Rose Series games, you know the big goals, championship goals she's scored. She makes this a 3-0 game at exactly 3 minutes left in the first period. So a dominant first frame performance. Toronto playing well, but they're still settling in, and the scoreboard is mounting. Volkers plays one deep. So maybe game 7 is a get pucks out, get pucks deep, bang bodies type of game. And the rebounds are finding the back of the net. Volkers gains possession. She takes a look. She curls it back, trying to find a friend. Hip flip. They try for a pin. They kind of let her go. She bounces one out to Nyberg. Nyberg plays the wall. Toronto is there. Toronto throws across the ice. It's chippy flippy. Neon green machine. But Bundy gets in the DeLorean. Back to the future. As Bundy chips one in. It's a little bit long. They're going to call this one back, but a necessary change as Minnesota gets 5 out. Addie alert. Preston's on the ice. Keep an eye out. Face-off win by Preston. Big surprise. Puck is loose. It's Willow Hart, and she's got a breakaway. Hold your breath. Oh! She pulls forehand to backhand. Very similar to her goal this morning to lead off the party against Boston. 6-0 butt kicking. As Minnesota says if this is going to be a black and blue game, we're not going to be the ones sustaining these bruises. Puck gets played to the weak side. Number 97, Lerner, tries to teach Minnesota a thing or two, but the puck flies wide. McDonough's all alone down in the corner. We need some defensive support. Zins is out at the blue line. It's a tip shot. So girls are kind of floating between positions here. Toronto's all alone in front. Zinn's got to find her. There we go. Puck comes to neutral. Try to zoom in a little bit so you can see what you're doing, but now I need to pay attention to what I'm doing. Bundy gets over her skis. Stevens plays one around the defenseman. She's looking at the middle of the ice. We got somebody right in the slot. Puck to Bundy. Long shot. Gets caught in a Toronto blouse, and it's behind the net to Stevens. Stevens surveys the odds. She gets it back to Bundy. Oh, off the crossbar. Addie Preston, of course, is banging the rebounds away. My goodness. So we've had 2 crossbars and 3 goals in the first period. There's about 20 seconds till the buzzer as Christian holds the blue and holds her ground. Stevens pass, intercepted, turn, and thrown. So we're going to have if this reaches, they're going to wave it. So Donahue's just got to kill some time with 5 seconds left. She smartly holds onto the puck and plays it out to Stevens. Wow. Well, you asked for it, you got it. 41,000 viewers on the podcast right now, just loving what they're seeing. If there's any Toronto fans watching our podcast, that's cool. 41,000. It might just be 41. I'm not sure. We're going to get a quick shot of the parents here. This is a championship game. There's Alex Christian. She's a former Cowgirl Shootout player for Team Minnesota. We've got the parents of this is Michelle and Sammy. We've got grandparents in the stands. We've got Evelyn Volker's grandparents are here. They've been having a lot of fun this weekend. I see Prosser's down there, Preston's. We've got Al and Tara. Al is our technical director. So if you've been enjoying these broadcasts, you can Venmo him a few bucks and get him a new charger. Mr. Zins is in the place. Let's get back to work. So, Volker's on the far side, 63. We've got Zins up at center now. She's got some red trim on her gloves, and Prosser, number 9, in the left wing. We've got Brindley Bundy back on defense with Sydney Christian. 96 plus 2 equals 98. And Team Minnesota has scored their 98th goal in this tournament. Palmer throws one across to Volkers. Can't connect. Played it back to Bundy. Bundy has 2 on. She's got to do quick work. Volkers gets dumped, which is a rare sight as Christian comes in. Like her hair's on fire. Just to hold the puck deep and wait for a change. McDonough's there. Maeve and Sydney are kind of the fire starters of the group. They definitely get things going when the team is together. Wisecracking, smirking, little jokes, and wonderful group of girls we got here. There's nothing else like it. As Zoe Newer blazes around on her forehand, tries to cut across, and the puck is turned over. Tap back by McDonough, and Christian moves one up to Harns. Harns just second puck out of reach for Willow. Might have to just ease up a little bit on that sauce. Hardwick goes back to game. We're going to change the angle a little bit here. Okay. Bear with us as we straighten this thing out. There we go. Try and go with a little more zoom and see how it works out. Preston plays. Face-off win by Minnesota with some wing support. They try to glass one to Harns. Long shot. Some sword fight in front. And Harns plays one to Preston. Preston's going to run this one out. Play on. Oh, a centering attempt, but no one's there. Stevens a step late. Generally, Stevens likes to hang out in front of that net. Pick up the easy money as Hardwick makes it hard times for number 7. Good board battle. Hardwick plays to the far side using good width of the rink, good depth of the rink. Nolander tries to muscle one to the front, and it's covered on the side of the net. We're about 27 minutes into the broadcast here. I'd like to thank the Staybridge Inn and Suites for dealing with our chaos and serving us breakfast. Nyberg and Bundy back at the line. Donahue. Draw one by Toronto, and they've got speed, but Nyberg with a good poke check. Nolander plays it to Donahue. Donahue's able to get the puck through, and Toronto's going to go to the far side. Cut back on Donahue and play up the boards. I like that. It's good stuff. Bundy spins and backhands it down where Toronto sits in the pocket for a minute. Puck slides through unexpectedly. Bundy gets ridden off a puck. Centering attempt gets picked off by Nyberg. Pass is too far for Stevens. Nyberg forces one out, and it looks like Elena had a chance to get there, but she kind of played it safe and stayed over the top as Nyberg shows some offense. Beautiful pass to Stevens. Glove save. Wow. So you see Piper Nyberg jump in the play, make players miss, and serve a nice play over. The defensemen on this Minnesota Black team would be the best forwards on pretty much any team that we've played so far. So don't be surprised if you see the fourth forward come in. And Piper Nyberg, her first year with Minnesota, has definitely supplied a lot of offense and stellar defense all weekend. One time, set up for Zins, she kind of, the powder got a little wet on that fire. As Newer shepherds, speed matches, angles out. It's Volkers to Palmer Prosser. Palmer's got room to work. We're breaking the blue with 4. You see Ali Zins calling for it on the second wave. Tipped by Newer, it's loose. It gets shoveled in between the wickets of the goalie. Toronto parents excited about the goaltending because there isn't much else to cheer about. So Ali Zins from Centennial digs in at the dot. Just trying to pull up forehand. Toronto with the win. We're coming with kind of a more relaxed forecheck than we have been as we're just staying over the top. Maybe we've recognized their defense. If we cover their receivers, they'll run out of time in the pocket, maybe? Maybe an unforced error. as we have light over the top of the Minnesota zone is kind of strobing as Christian plays. Okay, scores 3-0. All 3 goals scored in the first period. It is 10.5 minutes left in the second. Minnesota is cruising. Some of the little brothers are already like throwing balls off the wall and doing handstand contests. They've lost interest as Christian's here at the wall. She centers a puck. No one there. We got 3 players skating backwards. Christian peels one back, plays it to Bundy. Bundy gets a puck picked off by Toronto. This is maybe some of that black jersey, blue jersey blues where there's a difficulty differentiating under pressure. They might be throwing a few passes to the other side. I see a comment that says Kayla for MVP. Kind of hard to argue that right now as a puck gets turned over and you know who. Kayla Eaton with a quick glove. Looks like Kayla's wearing number 23. Like the great one. She wants to be like Mike. I think Michael Jordan would like to be like Kayla. Face-off is Preston. She wins it back to Hardwick. Hardwick tries to play to the side, and Preston has the puck, and she's got a lane. She and Willow are ride-sharing through neutral as they quickly get a change. So a good face-off win, a good out, and fresh feet. Puck played up on the Hardwick side, but Stevens gets over the top. All 3 goals coming off of rebounds. So I think pucks to the net is the mantra as Toronto works a little magic here and tries to dance in through the side door. McDonough chips over to Donahue. And Stevens is out here. We had Newer and Hardwick. Bundy comes in for Newer as Zoe's moved back to defense, and it looks like Ali Zins is going to play forward for a while. So just another adjustment that we've been making in games where in days where we've had multiple games. Zins and Newer has been a little bit of a flip-flop, trying to, make sure everybody gets comfortable with what they're doing. As Donahue kicks one loose and tries to score. She gets stopped and the puck gets played across and into the Minnesota zone. Hardwick jams the wall. It springs to the middle. It's Donahue. She stretches to Nolander. Nolander cuts back. She pushes over the top of the circle and cuts back at the hash. She stays with the puck. She takes a little bit of damage from 42, a sizable defenseman, as Christian misses a pinch. Toronto's got a one-on-one with good back pressure up the middle from Zins. Fadeaway shot pushed wide by Kayla Eaton. Stevens steps up. Puck ends up at the blue line, and we've got a center out there trying to charge. So girls are playing some positionless hockey, filling in, and all the lanes and layers. Puck played up to Stevens. She gets angled out, but not before she sends it deep and gets a change. Prosser and Volkers enter the play. Zins is still in attack mode. Pass to the weak side, quickly centered. Christian is there to tie up. They do get the center of the ice. It's Range Hood with a nice puck slip at Nyberg to the corner. Puck comes out to the blue line. It's the big shooter. Nyberg picks that puck up, and Palmer Prosser has some room to go. Palmer's number 9. She dumps one in on net. I think they're just looking for a change there. So appreciate all our viewers at home. Got a 3-0 game halfway through. We're kind of watching the the Toronto Pro Hockey net to see if they change goalies. As we reach the center point of the game, their goalie swallows up a puck. She's wearing number 41, for those of you scoring at home. They do have a second goalie. She's waiting patiently. She doesn't have her stick in her hand, so it's unlikely that she's going to be stepping in anytime soon. A lot of times we say, get your stick in your hand, when you're on the bench, you got to get mentally prepared. You've been sitting for a period and watching. But I think they're going to let number 41 ride this thing out as a nice hip check by Harens gets called by a referee. This referee skates pretty well for it being his first hockey game. Yeah. Sometimes a good hip check will get called. It's usually the big girl that gets called for the hitting the little girl, but in this case, also Coach Steve comes over to, work the door for her. We participated in this tournament years ago, and there was no announcing of goals and assists. There was no music, and we thought, well, this tournament is in its infancy. They'll probably add some production value, and unfortunately, they still haven't given these girls what they deserve. These spectacular athletes are working so hard for the trophy. The trophy is a large belt buckle, so Toronto is trying to get to work, and Minnesota is trying to buckle them down. Toronto ices the puck on the power play. So, minute and a half left on a Willow Harns penalty. I would venture that that's her first penalty in the tournament, probably in a while. Hardwick and Newer on the blue. Donahue digs in with Nolander. Nolander pulls to the middle and hands off to 97 from Toronto. It's a 2-on-2. Zoe with a nice stick check collected with the kick save. It's up the middle, and Hardwick not only clears it out of the house, she clears it out of the zone. They go D to D. It's probably the most skilled team we've seen. Nice interception by Zoe. Almost breaks herself loose for a scoring chance. And she's in space again. Tries to clear, gets shin pad. Toronto pushes up with numbers. They go wide. Long shot, glove by Kayla. Very casual. Kayla's done this before. Try and get you guys a little closer. I think when I look at this through my screen, I'm having a hard time telling between black and blue. So if I get a little closer and keep you guys on target, it might be a little easier to watch. So Toronto on your left in their blue with white trim. Minnesota girls black national elite in their new black threads. They are the perennial champion of these Rose Series tournaments. As the puck gets played back to the blue line 2 times, long shot, long save. So Kayla makes a pad save and a glove save. It's like Volkers, McDonough, and Preston are going to come out. Christian and Bundy on defense. 28 seconds left in the Toronto power play. Puck gets won by Minnesota, rimmed around by Christian. McDonough's there on the wall to fight for it as they rim it back. Bundy gets inside position and a quick cut back. Brinley Bundy has got some really nice acceleration. She's got a lot of moves she can perform at high speed as Toronto goes D to D here. Toronto gains the zone, tries to drive the net through 3 players and nothing doing. Minnesota is now full strength as Willow goes straight to the ice. We're still trying to clear, and Willow is in pursuit. Defenseman number 22 plays to 10. 22 to 10 to 9, chips up to 8. Bundy shuts that down. And Addie Preston shoots a puck at her favorite coach. So, looks like we may have a face-off at center ice, maybe at the blue line. Let's see what happens here. Four minutes left in the second. 3-0 Minnesota, 3 goals in the first period. It was a shock to the system. Toronto didn't even know what hit them. 3 rebound goals, so great team play. Passes out to the blue line. I venture to say half of our goals have come off of pucks that get played back to the line. So for you kids at home who are becoming students of the game, Something important to do, use all 5 players on the ice as Nyberg sets up a little pullback, drop pass to Prosser. Palmer Prosser. Oh, it really looked like that went in the net, but it did not, as Prosser is there for a rebound. Puck floats out to the middle of the ice, and Nyberg angles out. Neuer does a couple shoulder checks and puts it back up the middle. Palmer jams the wall. Toronto claims it. Big hit from Nyberg. It's a delayed checking call. It's a hockey game, so you're going to have players step up. The boys' parents would be cheering. The girls' parents don't like it. So it's a nice step up by Piper Nyberg. No ill intent. They're going to have a defensive zone draw to Kayla Eaton's right. Minor penalty for a body check. Some of the Toronto fans are not happy about their daughter getting knocked down, but they're fully padded. Willow Harns goes in. Draw one by Toronto and deep into the Minnesota zone, so they're going to have to kill off another penalty. Harns with a hip check, Piper Nyberg with a body check as puck gets pele'd into the zone. Good battle between Neuer and 20. The wraparound attempt gets stopped quickly by Eaton. Kayla Eaton's favorite goalie is Marc-Andre Fleury, I'm told. She loves the way he plays. She loves that he's a goalie who spends some time on the East Coast, as she likes to spend a lot of her time there. And kind of fun. So Marc-Andre Fleury signs a 1-year deal with the Minnesota Wild to stay and play as they develop some of their prospects. Jesper Wallstedt in the system. Gus Buss had a tough season. He might be moving on, but let's get back to the important stuff here. 12-year-old girls hockey. Puck goes out of play. It's going to be another power play draw. Minute 20 left in the penalty. 2:23 in the middle frame. Puck goes back to Toronto. They go D to D. They carry up and send it deep. Zoe Neuer picks it up. She's got it on her forehand. She rims it off the glass. Another nice kick. I venture to guess that number 16 may be a center in hockey and a center midfielder in June and July. Good stick check by Preston. Number 20 plays through. She plays back. Under 2 minutes left. Oh, a nice pull around Neuer. Neuer's playing defense, but somehow charges the point on the PK. Girls are just first to the puck. Go get it. We have 4 down in the corners. Neuer and Bundy back out and get over the top. So we're a little bit upside down in our shape. Actually, our shape's good. It's just our players are just seeing things that need to be done. Right? There's no job that isn't mine. It's very selfless. It's very fluid as Toronto picks up, goes over the top, sets up a wrist shot. It's nothing more than a soft dump in, and Kayla Eaton, number 23, swallows it up. Face-off will be to Eaton's right as Nyberg sits out the last 15 seconds. Minnesota is going to get back about 1 minute and 4 seconds of even strength hockey if they're able to break this out. Willow Harns in at the draw, win for Toronto. Got to get a little muscle in on these face-offs. You wonder why Preston wins a lot of them. She's just a little stronger than most of these girls. Long shot, blocked by Christian. Puck comes up the middle. Shot sails wide. Hardwick off the boards. And it looks like Minnesota is going to be full strength. They wave the icing. It's 5-on-5. It's offensive zone time. A lot of kicking of the puck by Toronto as Christian gains. She comes in on a player with no stick, rips one high. Looks like it just wide of the cage. Preston holds for a moment. Harns back to Hardwick. Hardwick gets the red line. emails it over to McDonough. Christian jumps in again. She's anxious to try and get pucks to the net, and they're anxious to get it right back to her, so she turns. There's no one there. She throws one across the grain to McDonough, so a nice little 1-2 punch to get deep in the closing seconds of the second period. So, second period is a wrap. Team Minnesota Black, National Elite Squad, as our goalies give each other a little high five. Fun that the goalies have like their own fraternity or sorority. They understand each other. They drag big heavy bags around. They get ignored for the first 20 minutes of practice, and then they get shelled, and then they get ignored. It's not an easy life, but these girls are making it look easy today. 41 from Toronto, surrendering 3 goals, all rebound goals. And Kayla Eaton, number 23, if she sees it, she saves it. Yeah, we got Clara Donahue here. And we've got young Prosser in the place, so girls are pretty excited about what's happening here for their sisters. It's a 3-0 game as the buzzer blows. And we're going to get back to some Minnesota-Toronto championship hockey here at the Rose Series. Looks like Zins is going to stay at forward. We've got Nyberg and Christian. Parents of the Toronto team showing no class as they're shouting out a player they want injured. That is really sad. Christian slides one over up to Volkers. And Minnesota's offsides. Puck is played into the Toronto zone. Toronto sends it up the wall. It's Whitney. Number 7, Whitney, tries to cross the seal. Pietzma picks up the loose change. Christian is there to put a body on 44. Fun fact, Sydney Christian's number in soccer was 44 for years. Christian comes back to the defensive corner with Jersey Mike's ad. She sends this puck above. And a nice step up on number 6. She's dazed as we play one out of the zone. So any out is a breakout. Zoe Newer comes back to collect in the out defensive zone. Zoe catches some static. And the puck is played back to neutral. Willow Harns and Allie Zins come in with kind of a 1-1 forecheck. Harns, with a clever angle, forces the pass up the wall. Zins gets over the top, and it's Nyberg who picks it up. Nyberg skates through a couple lashings and gets the puck deep, where Preston, McDonough, and Harns will go to work. Bundy's involved, Preston over the top. So our drill and fill has been outstanding this tournament. It's really, girls are wondering how we have 3 hard on the wall as they try to slam dunk one in their own net, and we stop them. You don't want to put pucks in the crease when Preston's out there. She and Palmer Prosser like to hammer that one-touch puck home. Bundy gets a puck deep. Minnesota's got a touch up here. It's close enough. McDonough, forehand only. Underhandles the puck around. Toronto really just having a really hard time getting things going here as we're under 13 minutes in the game. Minnesota had an outstanding first period, getting everything on net, and forwards are just able to walk and get little tap-in goals. Those are the good days. So things have gotten a little tighter now. Physicality's picked up a little bit. Players are playing with a lot of intensity. It's a little bit sloppier, more like our Alberta Warriors game, where when the intensity and the speed picked up, the passes were a little bit off, like what you just saw there. They're these back shoulder throws. These girls aren't Julio Jones, just put it on their forehand, right? So Donahue throws one deep. Refs are cool with it. I'm cool with it. Emmy Donahue is cool with it. Emmy fights, and it comes to the corner. They're really having a hard time getting out. Poke check by Nolander leaves a puck stopped in the house. Off the boards to Neuer. Neuer quickly shoots it back, but Toronto's there. Neuer plays it through to Donahue. Neuer continues to the net. She's below the goal line. Zoe Neuer is not the player you want behind the other team's net. Zoe Neuer's on her backhand. Have you driven a Ford lately? Well, we've seen Zoe score some goals lately as she tries to play one to Nolander. A soft backhand play leaves a bouncing puck that gets swallowed up by number 41. So 11 and a half minutes left in the third period. Still sitting at 3-0. Christian with an interception. She walks in, throws a puck off the far wall. It's like Toronto's more interested in playing the body than the puck right now because they're trying to throw body checks while they have it, and when they get the puck, they just throw it. So Newland over the middle to Stokes. Stokes gets picked off by Ellie Hardwick. A nice corral by Donahue. Drop pass to Nolander. Nolander curls. She hands it off to Christian. Kind of handed off her problems a little bit, putting her in a tough spot there, but Hardwick comes over. The middle gets filled. We're a little bit out of shape, but to no problem. They miss the net. Number 9 picks up a puck for Toronto. It's Stokes. Stokes plays one to Christian. Christian to Prosser. Prosser carries in. She tries to set up a shot. She sets up a beautiful play. So it goes Christian across the blue line. Palmer takes it through the neutral zone. Evelyn the Elk Volkers is there with a stick on the ice as she buzzes the tower. Nice job, Evelyn. So Palmer's notched a few goals in this series. Evelyn Volker is a rookie on Team Minnesota this year with the National Elite team, and she is one of our leading scorers. Neuer and Volker's on the ice together. Those are the 2 leading scorers for Minnesota. Wraparound attempt. Comes back out to number 7. Her green machine plays it to Volkers. Volkers tries to slip, and the white helmet gets an out. Nyberg goes to collect. Under 10 minutes left in the game. She tries to play the wall. They heel it off, seal it off, feel each other out. And Minnesota's there with 2 bodies. Allie Zinn's big, strong forward/defenseman. She's looking to build speed. No need to force anything here. Just break the blue, buddy. You got it. Zins tries to take it to the net. She turns around, throws something short side high off the side of the cage. It's like a 0-turn mower there. 0 angle, no dangle, just hustle and muscle. Gets herself into position. Toronto has no answer for what's happening here. Brindley plays one to center. It's picked up by Preston. A stick pop is nothing to Preston as she walks around the player. She tries to shoot a 0-angle shot off the side of the net, and she walks one back to the house. It's Hardwick with a long shot. Tip. McDonough picks it up. Preston is in there. 3 over the top. It's going to be a 3-on-3 at neutral with Hardwick going forehand. Referees are cool with how this game is going. It's probably the best game they've seen this weekend, as Minnesota's only real battle like this has been the Alberta Warriors, which were just shocked that they didn't make it into pool play or out of pool play. The Alberta Warriors was the best team we saw, I believe, as a bouncing pass skips past Harns. She plays it deep to Preston. 8.5 minutes left in the third period. 4-0 Minnesota. Off an amazing Christian to Prosser to Volkers. That's Orono to Chaska Chanhassen to Elk River. The western suburbs of Minnesota scoring against the eastern province where Toronto is located. Toronto is just above Rochester, New York, if you're not familiar with the geography. We've got Emmy Donahue, Nolander, Stevens, Newer, and Christian. They try to play through, and they do. Newer tries to chip it back. There's 3 on her. It's heavy, man. Newer goes for the pin. Donahue works it up the wall. Nolander's got a puck, got a prayer. Nolander tries to play through. Aldebert does a nice job holding that line. We got to use the middle of the ice or play it back. Girls are just kind of jamming things as we're 7.5 in the third, but Nolander frees herself up. It's a 2-on-1. Oh, a beautiful play to Stevens. Stevens is all alone. She carries deep and kind of runs out of space, and she hits the end wall. Nice pass by Nolander. Nolander is just on her 15th attempt to get through that player. She puts one through the skates. Relentless. Newer plays over to Christian. Christian takes a look. She plays up to Stevens. Stevens with a nice 10-2 pass catch, but she gets her pocket picked by Toronto's number 9, Stokes. Stokes is in the frame a lot. She's in the game a lot. Toronto might be shortening the bench, but they are desperate for anything right now. As Schwartz picks up the puck, she gets easily disarmed. Stokes is back. Stokes is across the seal. She's running out of space as Donahue takes a nice angle. Newer's over the top, and Christian comes in to see how she's up doing. Puck gets played out, but there's no one home. Volkers is working really hard here. She's got her tractor in gear as she breaks through the neutral zone and gets the puck all the way down into the Toronto end. Toronto Pro Hockey looking like the JV team here, as Minnesota looking like Minnesota Pro Hockey. That's why they're the national elite team. Members of this team we're going to talk about after the game. We'll do a quick synopsis of our experience here in Nashville. So stay tuned after the game. We're going to talk about the players. We're going to talk about the families a little bit. We're going to add a little personal touch to this as Nyberg with a nice angle out on Stokes. Minnesota players on average just bigger and stronger. So while Toronto has talent, so you see some fun touch passing here and centering attempt intercepted by Nyberg. They just don't have the physical presence as Nyberg carries through the contact. She holds at the end wall and plays it to Volkers. Volkers rips a shot to Bundy. That's okay. We'll set it up. Beautiful pass back to Nyberg. So our defense are having a little fun with this one. Backhand over to Zins, but Gardner's there. The Gardner pulls a weed at center, but McDonough comes with it. We're definitely a little bit offsides there. The refs have been pretty lenient. Nothing egregious. They're calling it tight. We've had 2 checking penalties. Don't guess maybe one of them should have probably been called. That's about it. Nothing to complain about. Refs have done a nice job this whole tournament. Puck dropped in front of Preston, a rare loss for Preston. She's been very successful as Toronto plays it back, plays it up. Long shot, sails over the shoulder. It's an ear whistler as Eaton kind of shakes her head at that one. Maybe she didn't see that one. Preston ties up, takes off. Preston plays to McDonough. McDonough chips it deep. Some girls are going to be taking their last shift here. We'll see if they take a bow as they leave as McDonough. She'll be back. 4.5 remain as Nolander hits the ice. Harns is in pursuit. Preston is over the top. Puck gets played back to Newer. Zoe Newer with a hard pass. We got to go to the puck. We have these habits of backing away from the puck. It's just not going to work. Preston tries to play one to Willow. They're standing next to each other. Zoe with a pass to Nolander. Again, we're waiting for the puck. We got to go to the puck. Long shot. Easy money. Kayla Eaton makes a glove save as it's 4-0. 4 minutes left in the third period. So you kind of get that feeling right now, right? Like everybody's kind of smiling. These parents, they're excited. We got a penalty on Toronto. Looked like she did a little bit more than a tie-up on the face-off. the referee wasn't having it. So number 21 is going to sit down for a couple minutes and think about it, feel some shame. Oh, number 20, sorry. It's been a long weekend. This is our 7th game. Played 1 game Thursday, 3 games Friday. Oh geez, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One yesterday. We got the morning off. Girls got to go down to Broadway, do some line dancing, and then 2 games today. So Zoe Newer blows a tire, and Toronto's heavy one-man army is number 618. She's a tough customer. Ken with the forecheck. Minnesota has a power play here, but they got to start hounding for this puck as Hardwick gains. She's got to build some speed. Nothing's faster than the puck. Not too many faster than Emmy Donahue. Donahue tries to play one over to Nolander, and a fanning attempt. Stevens needs to build some speed here. She's looking to find a lane. Nice cut back from Stevens. She gains some space, and kind of a drop to a zone. We didn't have anybody there. Christian gets a puck. She plays it to Nolander. Nolander pulls wide. Beautiful. Nolander pushes forehand, gets stripped. Donahue plays it back to Bundy. Bundy with a long shot. Stevens tries to get a piece of it. Christian is there. She gets body. She sends the puck deep, takes a check. You're not going to stop her. Bundy sidesteps a defender, throws a shot into skates as Stevens turns it around. She's trying to play it out to the blue line where Bundy gets a hold of it. Bundy gloves one down, plays it over to Stevens. Stevens to Volkers. Well, Volkers with a nice little board slip as she tries to play one back. Zins turns as she tries to shoot through traffic and gets blocked. Zins regains, turns and fires it upper corner. So Zins with a shooting attempt gets blocked. She regains. And the goalie's down. She shoots far side high. Allie Zins, that's her first goal of the tournament. So really fun to see some of these girls notch one. Allie's been playing some forwards, some defense. She's really helped out the team in a lot of ways. Provided a lot of strong physical play. So we're at 5-0 here as Nyberg plays one over to Volkers. Volkers plays one into the offensive zone, and we've got numbers again. She sets up a shot. It's shouldered. It's loose. Newer tries to get inside position, but Toronto looks to bust loose. Evelyn Volkers grabs a puck. She slides it to the middle. Palmer Prosser gets a handle. She shoves one. Okay, Palmer. So Palmer Prosser with another shot. So 2 quick goals. We had 3 goals in the first period, and I think we've had 3 goals in the second. We're now in running time. So they're going to salt this one away. We got maybe 1 or 2 more puck drops as the parents are going to go try and catch last call real quick for the celebration as Newer spins. She pulls back, plays up the wall to Volkers. Volkers plays one down into the offensive zone. Now they're going to call an ice there, but the clock's going to continue to run. You may wonder how much time is left. There's 1 minute left in the game.
Coaches are pretty relaxed.
Yeah, the coaches don't have their boards out. Youth Hockey Hub guy's got his camera out. You know they're going to cash in on this team. Face off won by Toronto. They play it back, they play it over. Whitney puck. That hits the side of the cage. Through traffic. She's headed to Murfreesboro. Minnesota's got numbers on the line. 3 break the blue. Long side to Harns. Harns can't quite get the handle on it as we're in the closing seconds of what has just been an amazing weekend of hockey and extracurriculars. Whitney throws a long shot, and that's very fitting that Kayla Eaton gets to keep that puck. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. It's a championship. Coaches exchanging handshakes of all the hardships and tough decisions they had to make. The girls are pulling their buckies off and showing some love to their backstop, Kayla Eaton. Toronto Pro Hockey has no answer for the onslaught. They are just getting after it. So we'll get a little film of the handshake line. It's customary to let the goalies go first. Toronto Pro Hockey goes 5-2 this weekend. Minnesota Girls Black, National Elite, a clean card, 7-0. I'd also like to note before people maybe start tuning out, maybe we have people tuning in, but Kayla Eaton pitches 4 straight shutouts after allowing 1 goal to the British Columbia Lady Canucks. So if you want to know the secret to winning hockey games, it's scoring goals and not letting the other team score any at all. So we'll talk about some of the players now as they line up. I think they're going to get some medals on the ice. First off, a quick shout out to Coach Vince, Coach Steve, Coach Mike, and Coach Jay as they respectively shake hands with the referees. Congratulations to the runner-up, Toronto Pro Hockey. They look like they're going to take a quick exit here. It's all right. We don't need to share the spotlight. So we'll get a quick rundown of the players. First-time champions here at the Rose Series. Kayla Eaton may have been a previous champion, but this is her first championship with Minnesota. She was an all-star. Piper Nyberg, who played defense primarily for Team Minnesota. She would put up a lot of points. Another candidate for Rookie of the Year, as well as Evelyn Volkers. They say big players make big plays in big games, and Evelyn Volkers really stepped up in this tournament and proved why she belongs with the Black, the championship. So we're gonna label this next group of players the Nash Vegas veterans. These are girls who have won back-to-back championships in both Nashville and Las Vegas. That would be forward Addie Preston, 2 goals today. Forward Palmer Prosser, 1 goal today. Allie Zins with a goal today. And defenseman Ellie Hardwick had an outstanding tournament, strong stick. So now, with no further delay as we get a team photo here, we're going to talk about the full dynasty. We're talking Anaheim, Vegas, Nashville. Forward, Elena Nolander, 3-time Rose Series champ. Forward, Adriana Stevens, 3-time champ. Forward, Amelia Donahue, 3-time champion. Willow Harns, forward, 3-time champion. Zoe Neurer, another points leader, 3-time champion with a goal today. And we've got 2 defensemen on this Minnesota Dynasty team, and that would be number 96, Brinley Bundy, and number 2, Sydney Christian. So just really enjoyed calling these games. I'm glad to hear people are enjoying the broadcast. Wow, just an amazing series of games. Shout out to all the little sisters, little brothers bouncing balls off the wall, running up and down the hall. I'd love to give a quick shout out, just a personal shout out to, well, really all the parents here. Parents work hard to make this happen. They travel a long distance as you see Minnesota exit the ice. Parents work really hard. They sacrifice. They do everything that they can do to allow these kids the friendships, the memories, the experiences. These girls are bulletproof. They're going to be just unshakable confidence these girls have after winning 3 championships in a row. So Team Minnesota at the Rose Series, thank you, Nashville. It's been real fun. Line dancing, hats, honky-tonking. Girls went to the Gulch, got snapping photos for the gram. It's just too much fun. So signing off for Minnesota Girls Black National Elite. Safe travels to everybody. Take care. Go Minnesota. To be continued. ...